stand by. Welcome to this special edition of SportsWrap Live. I am Jason Page, and it is MLB Trade Deadline Day. David Aardsma is here, the former big league reliever and closer. He's normally our Thursday guest on SportsWrap, so I said, well, we'll just keep you here. We'll talk about the trade deadline. So he's been literally sitting here for like 6 hours since we stopped doing the taping of the live show. For those of you that don't know, we do a show Monday through Friday, weekends as well, called Sports Wrap with Jason Page. If you are not familiar with it, familiarize yourself with it. We are on 270 stations around the country, including Canada. We love you guys in Canada. I know David loves his Canada. So we're on there as well. Monday through Friday. Check your local listings for time and schedule. We are doing a special live broadcast here on YouTube. We've also put it out on X, so if people want to click the link there, they can watch the show as well. We had David on the show, and those of you around the country might see the show after we actually do the live show, which is going to be a little weird. But this morning when we had David on, we started talking about the moves from last night, and I'm like, hey, man, what else could happen? And David's response was basically, what else could possibly happen? Everything's already happened. Wow, were we wrong about that? Because there have been a ton of moves, David, in the 7 hours since we taped the show for television today. Wow. And look, as a reliever, you've got to be happy. There's a lot of moves here close to your heart. A lot of relievers getting moved here at the deadline. Closers, former closers. Right after we finished taping with you today, Mason Miller gets moved. What is the move since this morning? What's the move that jumps out to you the most right now?
Well, the fact that you just talked the Mason Miller deal. I mean, again, he's under team control until 29. That's the one that jumps out. I know they gave a huge prospect.
Doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me for that
Mason
reason.
Miller and JP Sears.
No. I don't have a problem. Well, the JP Sears part, I'm a little lukewarm on. I don't have as big a problem with it. I don't have as big a problem with it because these big throwing guys are 104 mile an hour fastball. I hate to say it, inevitably the toy breaks. I mean, inevitably the toy breaks. And you're getting a top 3 prospect, not a top 5 prospect. You're getting a top 3 prospect here in Leo DeVries, who's still only 18 years old. By the time you get into the ballpark in Las Vegas, he's going to be ready to play. It's perfect.
I'm okay with it from the Athletics. I like it from the Athletics standpoint. Mason Miller will not be on this team when they're winning baseball games. It's not going to be 4 years and they're just all of a sudden crushing baseball games left and right. You already have, right now I'm looking at this roster, you already have a shortstop. That's the only problem I'm seeing. Is you're bringing in a prospect from the future. I love it. Maybe use him in another trade that's actually a big league trade to bring in big league talent. But anytime you can get the number 3 prospect for a reliever who you hit gold on anyways, the big thing for me, you have relievers and you hit gold on these guys. You weren't expecting them to be what they are. No one expected Mason Miller to come out of nowhere last year and do what he did and continue it this year. I like trading those guys. Those are the guys I'm fine with dealing. I don't need a closer if I'm the A's. I need to get to a closer if I'm the A's. I need to win more baseball games. I need more starting pitching, more bats. And if I can get an entire lineup of guys, as we've seen, closers are kind of easy to find, apparently.
Not good closers. I mean, the Yankees went and got David Bednar. I remember us talking last year about David Bednar. He was a disaster in Pittsburgh. Now the Yankees just traded for him. I'm cringing.
And now he's all back, and now he's great. But then they have, just this year you've had Bednar trade. Obviously, he came back this year. He was wonderful a couple of years ago. Duran traded. You had Helsley traded. There's so many closers that have gotten moved that if I'm the A's, I don't worry about my closer right now. Let's win some baseball games. Let's get to a 500 team and then go trade one of the 100 prospects that you've traded for to go get the closer that you need. And then you're a winning baseball team with a great bullpen. I'm okay with it from an A standpoint. I love the move from a Padres standpoint. You already had a great closer. Now you got the best. The only issue is you have a great closer who's getting the job done. Now you're going to have the double-headed monster? Like, how many times has that really worked?
You got a 7. The Yankees are you kidding me? The Yankees made a living basically turning baseball games into 6 and 7 inning games during their prime years. I was just watching it last night. I was reminiscing, crying on the couch about how the Yankees used to win World Series in the 90s. And that's how they did it.
8th? Who takes the 9th?
Well, there are people that make far more money than me that get paid to decide that.
Yeah, but it's not as fun when they decide it. We get to decide it for them.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with it. I think it's a great move. Honestly, I think it's a good move for both teams. As soon as I heard it, my initial thought was to crush the A's as, oh boy, here, typical A's. What are you doing? You're getting rid of your stuff. But I don't have a problem with it because they don't care about winning right now. Who cares about winning in Sacramento? They want to be built to win in 2028, and I feel like they've done that. Or tried to at least make a move in that direction with this win, with this trade. How about Carlos Correa on the move?
That's I understand why the Twins did it.
Yeah.
You're selling. You're done. You're not in a position to win many baseball games right now, and you haven't proven. He has never once proven that he was worth the money the Giants were going to give him, then they ended up giving him, or they were going to give him, then they didn't give him, then they did get him. It wasn't worth the hassle. This team was not better with him, and it might be better without him. They're 51-57. They've never been a really competitive team in that Central, so I'm okay with that. Are we expecting to have him come back and make this big comeback with the Astros and be the player he was before? No. Will he be a great player in that locker room and knows how to win? Yes. But is he, I don't know, what are the Astros expecting out of him at this point? I like the move from an Astro standpoint. I absolutely believe in the move from a Twin standpoint. They should sell everyone, and they've tried to sell everybody on that roster, and I'm okay with that. It's just, are the Astros getting anything for that? Is this making a move for the Astros? Do you see this as a move that counter strikes what the Mariners have done?
Well, it can't. Because Carlos Correa right now is not what Eugenio Suarez is. So I don't think it
not can. Not Josh Naylor either.
I don't think it can counter that. But they're also relying on the fact that, hey, we're the Astros. And, as much as we talk about what the Mariners have gotten from a starting pitching standpoint, it's hard to sneeze at what the Astros have been able to do despite all the injuries, despite everything going on with that team. No Yordan Alvarez. They still look up, and you look at this team right now, and they're still in first place, and they can lean on that, and they can lean on that experience. and they still have, one of the most talented players in the game in Pena. So, I mean, I'm okay with, what they've done here. What I'm more interested in here, David, in the final 50 minutes that we have until the deadline hits, because you know what happens. We get all excited to do these live shows. And all these trades happen all day, and then the final hour, nothing happens. And we're just stuck staring here at each other, for the next 50 minutes. I want to keep an eye on a couple teams. The Red Sox. I'm still waiting for the Red Sox to do something. I've given up on the idea that the Yankees are going to do anything as a Yankee fan, because they've made it clear they're just going to kind of do a little bit here and a little bit here. We're not going to part with any of our big prospects because we can't do that. Even though we just watched the Padres get Mason Miller.
Everybody.
Not Padres. You watched the Mariners go and get Suarez, and you're telling me the Yankees couldn't put together a package that would have looked something similar to what the Mariners gave up to get Eugenio Suarez? I don't understand it, but that's what they've decided to do. I think the Red Sox will be interesting to watch here at the deadline. Also, the Dodgers, who made a move, added Twins reliever Brock Stewart to their bullpen this afternoon. So obviously the Dodgers make a little bit of a move there. Problem with a team like the Dodgers is it's hard for them to make moves because eventually these guys are going to be healthy and come back, and you have to have a place to put them. So if you're the Dodgers, you almost really don't have a lot of maneuverability here, David.
And it's good and bad. So you don't have to give up your prospects. You're never giving up any of your guys. And you have the best players in the game. They're just not all healthy. Their entire IL of starting pitching is who's who wants to start the All-Star game. So they don't need to make the move. Sometimes the best move you can make is just to sit back and sit on your heels and know that your team is really good. That clubhouse is great. You're not messing with anything. But when you're looking at it, the Dodgers standpoint, I believe it. I'm okay with them standing put. Maybe you get somebody at the end of that lineup. Like, do you try to get a healthy starter somewhere? Do I move some of those veteran guys and say, okay, go get healthy somewhere else? I'm okay with the Dodgers sitting, but like you brought up, the Red Sox and the Yankees. It's like that meme where you're just sitting there and saying, do something. Do something meaningful if you're those teams. You're the AL East. You should be the movers and the shakers of this entire market, and they're not anymore. They're a team they're both teams that are getting kind of passed over. These guys are going other places for better deals. You talk about the Padres, they're willing to move every single prospect they've ever had, and they still create competitive teams because when they do make those moves, it tends to work out for them.
Well, you bring up an interesting point about, all these teams making moves. And I said this at the start of our show today on the TV version of SportsWrap. To me, this all speaks of one thing. And this is so great for Major League Baseball in a year where the ratings are up and people are watching. And I don't need to sit here and be pom-pom guy for Rob Manfred and all that because I can't stand him. But I have to say, this is the greatest thing that could happen for baseball is all this movement at the trade deadline, because it tells you all of these teams think they can win. It is the year where literally just find a way to get into the playoffs and get hot, and you feel like you can win. The Dodgers seem vulnerable right now. Whether they're vulnerable when we get to the end of September and October, I don't know. Right now, though, they seem vulnerable. So a lot of teams went into this deadline, it feels like, David, as buyers. The Guardians were kind of an interesting case study in a team that could have been a playoff team and decided to actually pull back and say, we're not going to push our chips to the middle this year. But there are a lot of teams that are not typically big buyers at the deadline, that go and bring in salary, that go and bring in payroll. And it feels like there's so many more of them this year. Even Cincinnati with some of the little moves that they've made. I love seeing the Reds go for it. That franchise is starved for a playoff team. They've got one of the brightest young stars in the game in Ellie De La Cruz. You telling me if you're Rob Manfred, you wouldn't kill to have Ellie De La Cruz in a wild card game on one of your big TV partners? Of course you would, because most people don't get to see Ellie De La Cruz because he's not on national TV a lot. I think this is so great for baseball to have so many teams invested at this deadline, feeling like all we got to do is get in and we got a shot.
It's an interesting dynamic because the American League is doing that. Like you're getting all the way down. The Guardians, yes, the Guardians are sellers. They're really interesting kind of case study that they're sellers at this point. I know the Class A deal and that whole kind of the paid leave was the catalyst for this. So they're going to end up dropping. We're going to see what's going to happen with Stephen Kwan and the rest of that team. But the Royals have been staying put. The Rays have been making small moves, standard kind of Rays small moves that might make them better, a lot better than what we're expecting. And then the Angels have kind of stayed put. But then you're only going to have 5 teams in the entire AL that have been sellers. 5 in the entire AL. White Sox haven't done anything, but they're basically sellers. A's have been moving, Orioles have been moving, Twins have been moving, and then you get the Guardians. And then you get to the National League side. And, your top wild card teams right now are the Cubs, Phillies, Padres. The Reds have been making moves, but then everybody below that has been sellers. So you're looking at the Cardinals, Giants, Marlins, Diamondbacks, Padres, Braves, Nats, and Rockies have all been sellers. So it's an interesting dynamic how the American League, all those teams are saying, hey, man, we're taking a chance. And then all this entire National League is choosing to sell. The Giants not full sell, but the Giants are selling the pieces. But you're taking so the entire National League side is going to end up being the Reds. And if the Reds or the Cardinals just the Reds, are they going to get in or not? Because the Cardinals are selling. Giants are selling it. It's an interesting little dynamic how it's flipped on both sides. That American League side is so much more exciting.
Yeah, it is. And it's kind of cool as well on a day like this because there aren't a lot of games. And usually it feels like on trade deadline day, there's a lot of, and maybe you can recall this, it feels like usually there's more games on MLB Trade Deadline Day. And this year, there's none. Like there's only 3 games in Major League Baseball, and the Yankees and the Rays are in a rain delay right now. So all these guys, can you try and kind of set a scene for me for what it must be like with the Yankees and Rays right now? You're sitting during a rain delay and the trade deadline and all this stuff is going on. What is it like right now as a player if you're either in the middle of a game or even not, and you're watching on trade deadline day? Like, are players just sitting there doing the same thing that fans are?
They're sitting there doing the same exact thing. They got their phones out. They're hanging out. Maybe they're just talking a little bit because you have the TVs on. The TVs during game day are playing other games. They're playing MLB Network or something like that. So you have other games on. Usually the manager's pretty strict about that. So the games are on. There's other baseball games happening. So you're paying attention. Anything that comes through, you're hearing about it. The moment something comes across the line and someone sees it on their phone, they say it across in the entire locker room and you go, oh, okay, like here it is. So you're waiting. If you're both of these locker rooms, you're waiting for those news, and you want to see who you're trading for. Someone's probably going to end up having to leave that locker room. You hope it's not you. You hope you're stronger set in where you're at as a Yankee or as a Ray. But you're waiting on the edge of your seat, and you're like, all right, we got 45 minutes, guys. This is where you find out how much your front office believes in your team. Believes that you have a chance and believes where you really are as an organization. The other side of that time is where you're sitting there going, all right, guys, who's going to go get a ring? It's not going to be with us. So who else is going to go get that chance, that playoff share? And you're looking out in the locker room going like, he's probably going to get traded. He's probably going to get traded. He's no longer here. And you start like figuring out in your mind, where am I going to end up in that whole shuffle? The other side of it, and I've been in those locker rooms, you're just like, come on. Like,
were you ever dealt at the deadline? Were you ever dealt at the deadline?
Never dealt at the deadline. Never dealt. I heard there was when I was at the Mariners, there were definitely rumors. There was conversation. I've never followed that stuff. I wasn't really paying attention. So I found out later that I guess there was a lot of rumors underneath, not making big waves. And it was before social media was as big as it is now. But I was never traded. But, we were sitting there. We know the Mariners, we weren't really in it, but we weren't out of it either. So we weren't going to really move. But when I was on the Yankees, when I was on the Red Sox particularly, you're just waiting there going, we are a great team. We can get a little bit better. And that's when we made the Manny Ramirez trade. And you're just sitting there waiting, and you hear that come down, and you're like, yes. Like we have a legit chance. We're getting Jason Bay at the peak of Jason Bay's career, and Manny Ramirez was a headache at the time when it was bringing him apart from our team. And it was exciting. And you'll immediately get that new energy, that new oomph in that team. And so these guys are sitting there in this delay, and they're just on their phones, just waiting because they want their team to have more of a chance. And you're going to find out if Cashman believes in them and if the Rays believe in that team. Probably not as much of a big deal with the Rays, but that Yankees team, you're waiting. You're like, something big has to happen.
And the Yankees just, again, disappointing right now with 40 minutes left. Until the trade deadline, officially hits here. If you're a Yankee fan, I got to wonder if you're disappointed with what this team decided to do at the deadline. They basically are telling you that sans, Ryan McMahon, we think we're good enough to win as currently constructed. And the fact of the matter is they haven't been a good baseball team for 2 months, David.
They haven't been a good, and we talked about this earlier in the show, disciplined. They haven't been a good disciplined baseball team in 2 months. That's why we see it was not the Blue Jays are just playing the greatest baseball in the entire world. They're just playing good baseball, and the Yankees are playing bad baseball. And that's when they got caught by the Rays before that, and then the Blue Jays. So they haven't been playing great baseball. And so sometimes when moves like this happen, when you're sitting there and you bring somebody in, that brings a little bit different expectation too sometimes. Like, yes, we're the Yankees. We're going to win baseball games. That's what we do. We're the pinstripes. But when you get some new blood in, that's like, guys, like, let's go. That gets that kind of that blood pumping. You want to work harder. You want to get out there earlier for early work. They're the Yankees. They've been too close. So last year, they were embarrassed in the World Series by a team that they could have played with every single day. They could have played with the Dodgers.
Yes.
But they just got embarrassed with discipline, and the Dodgers made fun of them afterwards on TV. The guys got on TV and made fun of them, said, dude, we're going to kick their butt. They're not disciplined. They don't play baseball the way we do. No one's ever said that about the Yankees. Nobody's ever said that about the Yankees. That should be embarrassing enough, and that's when you should say, all right, we're a good team. And the Yankees are a very good team. Do they want to be a great team? And this is where you have to make some tough decisions and say goodbye to some guys, which Cashman's never had a problem in the past. But now it seems like he's got a problem doing it, and that might be ownership holding him back. But they need to start making those moves where everybody holds their butt and waits for the Yankees to make a move. They need to start being that Yankees again.
And again, if you're just tuning in and trying to catch up on what's going on here at the trade deadline, Carlos Correa has waived his no-trade clause to go back to the Houston Astros, where he is going to try and help that team win a World Series. That is one of the big moves of the day. The Padres continue to make moves. They brought in Will Wagner, an infielder from the Blue Jays, in exchange for catcher Brandon Valenzuela. They mentioned the Dodgers early on. They're acquiring outfielder Alex Call from the Nationals. So that's happened here in the last few minutes. The Padres, we mentioned them. They bring in Ryan O'Hearn and Ramon Laureano as well here at the deadline. So you've got those moves as well. The Rangers add Colombe. I mean, everybody's out there trying to do something at the deadline. And again, 37 minutes left on the clock here. I still don't see any headlines from the Red Sox. Like no Jarren Duran move. We thought maybe Jarren Duran could be on the move. Potentially to the Padres. Jarren Duran still hasn't moved. I'll give you another one that hasn't moved yet, David. Stephen Kwan.
Kwan's an interesting one.
I think he is very interesting. Yeah.
And he's a guy that almost every team can use. He's a player that everybody wants. He's a clubhouse guy. He's on the field. He's great defensively. He's wonderful at the bat. He sets up offenses. That would look really good in Fenway. It'd be perfect. It would match that lineup too. It'd match the lineup in New York. There's so many teams that could use him immediately and find a place for him. I know you have issues when we talked about this on the show earlier as well. You have issues on where would Kwan play. Figure that out. It's a good problem. Figure it out later. I'd rather have a guy that gets on base so much, just nonstop, creates tough at-bats, sets up the entire rest of the lineup. But that would be the move the Red Sox would need too. That's a perfect player for the Red Sox, perfect player for the Yankees, because that would actually probably even out that Yankees lineup a lot. That's a small ballpark for a base hit hitter to hit.
I'll give you another guy that hasn't moved here. And we talked about this guy from basically opening day until now. And I'm only reminded of this because the Marlins made a move. Jesus Sanchez goes to the Astros for Ryan Gusto, Chase Jaworski, and Esmail Valencia. Jaworski is a top 10 prospect in the Astros system. That looks like it's the guy that's sort of the key in that deal for the Marlins. Sandy Alcantara.
Yes.
Never moved. They decided to hang on to him, it looks like, unless something crazy happens here in the last 35. Maybe that's the move the Yankees are going to make. They're going to go get Sandy. Sandy, that's a girl's name. No, maybe the Yankees will go. Maybe the Yankees will make my day and go get Sandy Alcantara and figure out a way to dump Anthony Volpe. Maybe. Just maybe.
Get rid of your starting shortstop.
Get rid of my starting shortstop. Yes, I will get rid of my starting shortstop. I will get rid of Anthony Volpe. Because he gives up more runs defensively right now than he knocks in. I can't have any more Anthony Volpe. I'm sorry.
It's also like, why aren't the Yankees trading for the number 3 prospect from the Padres and getting the future at shortstop?
It's because they have George Lombard. It's because they have George Lombard, of course.
Oh, of course.
Kelly hasn't moved yet. That's another one. No Zach Gallen move yet.
When I was with the Blue Jays, every single draft, our first pick was a shortstop. Every single trade, basically, we were trading for shortstops. A shortstop can play everywhere if they don't work out as short. I don't feel like the Yankees think like that. I don't feel like the Yankees sit there and go like hoard athletes. They hoard guys, and then they don't ever pan out because they need more athletes in that organization. I don't mind Volpe, but he's not helping at this point.
The move has happened, by the way. Not to interrupt you, I apologize, but I have to. The Rangers are the ones getting Merrill Kelly from the Diamondbacks.
Ooh.
According to Jeff Passan with ESPN, kudos to him. That is the latest move to cross the wire, is that the Rangers are the ones going out and getting Merrill Kelly here at the trade deadline from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Are you surprised the Diamondbacks went into full-on sell mode?
I'm not surprised. I know where they're at as an organization. Again, Merrill Kelly's the only one, though, that would be a sell for me. Naylor was a rental player. Suarez rental player. They're getting as much as they can get from him. Those are great moves. Merrill Kelly, I don't mind it. He's a great starter. He's done well here in Arizona. Been a little off and on hurt. Been a little off and on really good. And they can get some great players for him. I'm okay with that. We can go out and find another starting pitcher. The Diamondbacks have no problem. They've shown that they can spend the money as long as they keep bringing back prospects. This is what good organizations do, is that when you know you're not going to win the World Series, you know that you're not going to win the West or whatever it is, trade those pieces, get the prospects in, but then go back out and sign somebody in the offseason. Fill that gap, and then you have the prospects. You're still paying the same amount of money, and you've got prospects now. And so you're constantly rebuilding from within, and you're just signing the same guy. We'll find a Merrill Kelly. I've no issue with the Diamondbacks finding another Merrill Kelly. I like that move because you can rebuild a team really quickly like that as long as you go out and sign somebody. And that's what the Diamondbacks have started to show. I just don't know when that stops, because they can only spend so much money and without as big of crowds as you have as some other stadiums.
And they are 9 games out here at the trade deadline. And I think the last week and a half probably made it easier for them, David, to make that sort of deal. But at the same time, I had just heard people 2 and 3 weeks ago saying, they're basically investing their own money right now into renovating Chase Field.
Yes.
That they're basically taking like a percentage of the revenue from ticket sales, and it's directly going in to enhance that ballpark and the ballpark experience. Are you doing that if you're going to go and sell everything at the deadline and sort of go back into a partial rebuild?
No, and that's why I don't think it's a partial rebuild. I don't think it's a partial rebuild. I think they're just taking advantage of the guys they have right now. And here's the thing is Merrill Kelly's going to be a free agent too. So they've only gotten rid of players that they would have to re-sign after this year anyways. So I like it. I like the moves. They've made 3 strategic moves on 3 players that weren't going to be necessarily on the roster next year anyways. That's how you do it. Those are the players that all of these other teams that are looking on the outside in need to be circling and say, get rid of them, get rid of them, get rid of them. There's no point. And this is what the Angels should have done with Ohtani but they didn't. Not to relive any Angel fans.
I mean,
memories.
Not for nothing here. The Padres have literally like brought in a whole new team on trade deadline day. I mean, Ryan O'Hearn, Ramon Laureano, J.P. Sears, Mason Miller, Freddie Fermin, and we're not done yet, by the way. I mean, it's wild what the Padres have done here at the trade deadline, bringing in all these guys. And Sam on today's show said that because they gave up DeVries, that it's almost like World Series or bust. Like they had, otherwise he thinks Preller might be at risk. Do you agree with that?
If they can, they're 3 games behind what we talked about as maybe the best team of all time.
Yeah. But that team is a shell of what it should be with all the injuries. I mean,
but that's what we looked at when the Dodgers signed all these guys. We kept looking, going, great, but.
Yeah.
Like, great, but eventually these guys will all be healthy, right? The Padres keep trucking, and that rivalry is one of the best rivalries I've seen in baseball by far right now. I went to a game there on July 4th. I had never seen energy like that in San Diego ever in my entire career. I played in the very first game ever at Petco Park. I gave up the runs in the very first game to secure the win for the Padres. I was doing that for them. All the way until the end of my career, I was still playing in that ballpark, and I've never. Opening day didn't have as much energy as a July 4th game during the day. It is electric there. AJ Preller, this is the type of moves you have to make if you're AJ Preller, and they're not giving up. They're giving up a great prospect at, what is he, 18, 19?
18.
Who cares?
He's not even going to be 19 until October.
Great. So when he would be coming back up, you can just move Tatis back to shortstop. There's so many other moves where this team is built for right now, but they're also built for the future. That's not sacrificing the future when you're not even going to see the guy in 5 years. And you still have a player for 5 years or 4 years in Mason Miller. You got one of the best closers in the league for 4 years. And so every move they seem to be making, they always have an answer because they're winning baseball games. And they're putting their fans in a position to come to the ballpark every day to love being a Padre fan. And AJ Preller doesn't need to win a World Series to keep your job. A lot of GMs have shown that. As long as they just keep winning, nobody cares.
I wonder if in some ways it's almost like college sports, where if you're Ohio State, you just have to beat Michigan every year, or if you're Michigan, you just have to beat Ohio State every year. And if you're the Padres, it's just be better than the Dodgers. Like, just figure out a way to get further in the postseason than the Dodgers, and it's a successful season. By the way, I should say this. We're saying the Red Sox didn't make any major moves, and they really haven't made big moves. They did get Steven Matz on Wednesday from the Cardinals. So, to be fair, that is one move the team made here at the deadline so far. But with 28 minutes remaining until the trade deadline, so far the Red Sox have made no big moves on this trade deadline day that has seen a bevy of major moves right now. And again, the latest, we were talking about pitchers on the move. Oh, here we go. We had another one. So we were talking about Merrill Kelly to the Rangers, but a guy that I've got 3 of his autographed baseball cards is on the move. Willie Castro. Willie Castro to the Cubs from the Twins, according to Jeff Passan. John Heyman had it first, so kudos to John Heyman. He gets the credit for it. But Willie Castro, who's done pretty well since leaving Detroit, he's been very serviceable as that super utility guy. Willie Castro going to the Cubs as that team tries to improve itself, and was basically in first place all alone for the first 90 games of the season, it felt like, and then all of a sudden they turn around. Now they're the wild card team because Milwaukee has played so well. In that National League Central, David. And there's another team. We haven't seen Milwaukee make a lot of moves here. Milwaukee's been pretty quiet here so far with 26 minutes remaining until the deadline. But, hey, maybe they don't have to make any more moves. I know Jackson Chourio, I think, got hurt yesterday. I'm not sure of the update on that. But maybe the Brewers feel like they don't need to make any moves here. With that pitching?
they know they might not need to make any moves, but then they're watching the Cubs make moves. Maybe they're trying to make that one move, that one move that changes them. You don't have to make a lot of moves. It's not the team that wins isn't the team that makes the most moves. It's the team that makes the best moves. And it could be one. It could be a bench player. It could be a whole lot of different stuff for that clubhouse. We can be looking at this, and we don't know how these clubhouses dynamics are. Sometimes you're like, all right, this is the team. We just need to change a voice a little bit. And you go find that veteran guy that knows what he's doing. He's been around forever. I like the moves the Cubs have made, but if I'm Milwaukee, I'm also looking at this going, just standard Milwaukee. Winning the Central isn't good enough at some point. At some point. It's great. You're bringing in crowds. We just talked about with the Padres. You are going to keep winning baseball games. That's wonderful. But the Padres every year were like, this is a contender. This is a real contender. And if they get past the Dodgers, they're going to win something really big. The Brewers aren't quite there yet. And
is Milwaukee built, with their pitching, is Milwaukee built to potentially be that fly in the ointment in the National League? Like, what would you say right now? At 2:35 p.m. Pacific, 5:35 p.m. Eastern on MLB Trade Deadline Day on July 31st. Who is the biggest threat to the Dodgers right now in the National League to you?
The Phillies and the Mets.
The Mets, really?
Yes. The Mets right now have a beast of a bullpen because of the moves they've been making. Ryan Helsley, Tyler Rogers. They brought in Cedric Mullins. That's a move I don't think we've talked about even yet.
We have not gotten to that yet. Cedric Mullins, big move.
So they added that outfield piece. They have the relievers, the bullpen. That's a huge move for the Mets. And so right then their lineup is as good as anybody's. The Phillies lineup is as good as anybody's. They needed bullpen pieces. They brought in a piece. I still think the Phillies need to make one or two more bullpen moves. They're one of the worst bullpens in baseball, and they've consistently been one of the worst bullpens in baseball. So let's stop banging our heads against the wall and like answer a problem here, guys. Add more pieces to the bullpen. Add some actually impact pieces to the bullpen. And so they're starting to do that, but the Mets and Phillies, that's it. And I'm sorry, but if you have the Brewers come to town, go to Dodger Stadium, Dodgers go to Milwaukee. It's the Dodgers all day long. They just have too many guys. The Brewers right now are the Rays. They're a great team. They play really well together. But are you going to put them in a 7-game series? Man for man against the Dodgers, you'd take 90% of the Dodgers lineup every single day.
Yeah, maybe the lineup, but great pitching beats great hitting all the time. We see it in the postseason. I mean,
I don't know how much does that apply anymore in 2025 when starting pitchers last 4 innings in the
postseason. Well, yeah, especially in the postseason, because then the postseason somebody walks a guy and they take him out. Like,
that's. Are the Brewers going to sit back and play old school baseball, or are they going to play new school baseball? I don't know if it's even better. I would love to have my starter go 9, but there's a reason why these teams are stopping, and it's not because they're dumb. They're not stupid. We might think they are, but they're doing it for pretty good reasons. At some point, we have to recognize at least they have some education behind it. But I wouldn't want to face the Brewers without a doubt. I don't want to face anybody in the playoffs. But if you're giving me the Mets, Phillies, Dodgers, or Padres, or Brewers to face, I'm running to the Brewers.
Zach Gallen, Stephen Kwan still haven't moved on this trade deadline day. Those are a couple of the names that we're still keeping an eye on. Mackenzie Gore, it's another one.
Where do you think the Rangers stand right now? With the moves that the Astros are making, the moves the Mariners are making, the Rangers have made small moves. Obviously, bringing in Merrill Kelly will be a good one. But do you see the Rangers having any chances in this? Danny Colme, again, a reliever, a guy who's had a good year. But do you see the Rangers ever figuring out who they are?
No. I mean, I just think it's a down year for the Rangers in general. So I just think you kind of chalk it up as one of those years. I mean, they could still get in. I just think it's mind-blowing to me, just looking at the standings right now, that the Guardians were such heavy sellers at the deadline here at 54-54. At 2 games out of a wild card spot. That they became such wild sellers here at the deadline. The Yankees have made a move, by the way. They have traded Jorge Castillo with the story. The Yankees have traded Oswald Peraza to the Angels. I mean, they had too many infielders now. After they brought in Ryan McMahon, he was expendable. So there it is. I was wondering if the Angels would make a move at the deadline. I was wondering if the Yankees would make a move at the deadline, and they did. The Yankees give up Peraza, and the Angels give up something to the Yankees and get Peraza.
Player to be named later, some money maybe.
I'm still surprised. The Angels are probably where I would put the cutoff in the American League right now if you're talking about teams that are still in the mix for the wild card. And that's another team I thought might get busy here. You know, they actually have a healthy Mike Trout right now, knock on wood. They've got a healthy Mike Trout for a change late in the season. You know, Joe Adell's had a nice year for that team. Neto's had a nice year for that team. You know, Sean Yule they still have there. And right now, the team that I thought Artie Moreno and this group would be kind of busy at the deadline. And again, with 20 minutes left until the trade deadline, David, the Angels just kind of standing pat.
So here's an interesting thing with the Angels. From an average standpoint, they're 24th in the league. A ERA standpoint, the starters are 22nd and relievers are 27th. That is not good. And they're only 3 games below 500. So you have to look at that and say, if any team could make a run and make small moves and make a big difference, it's the Angels, and make a run for this and go for it. Because the Royals haven't done anything. Guardians are selling, so you're probably going to jump up at least one spot in the line. You're going to jump up one spot. You're only 4 games back. And so you have the Rays and Royals. They both haven't made big moves. You have the Rangers you still have to catch, who still haven't made big moves, have made a move. They're right there. They have the Rangers and Mariners are ahead of them that they can catch both of those teams, and they're going to play them enough to catch them. That's why I look at it if I'm a GM. I'm saying, what are my teams? Who do I have to beat to do this? Can I line up every single day with the Rangers and line up every single day with the Mariners and beat them? Because I have to beat both of them to make the playoffs.
The Yankees have made a trade, Oswald Peraza, to the Angels. In exchange, the Yankees get 19-year-old prospect Wilberson De Pena from the Angels. He is in rookie ball right now as a 19-year-old, 227 with 4 home runs and 20 RBIs. So that's the minor move the Yankees made. Are you surprised the Yankees didn't pull the trigger on something bigger?
They haven't yet. I am not surprised.
I'm not. I don't think they're going to.
Cashman.
They don't want to give up. They don't want to give up. They don't want to give up Spencer Jones, and they don't want to give up Lombard Jr. And apparently, they don't want to give up on Anthony Volpe. Jason Dominguez.
This is a good team that can win the World Series. Believe in them, Cashman. If you had to give up Dominguez to get Stephen Kwan, you make that deal? I wouldn't even think about it. Yes.
God, I think you're nuts.
And it's got nothing.
We talked about this morning.
Dominguez.
I just think it's not.
It's not against Dominguez. It's that this guy fits perfectly in my lineup and it immediately makes me the best team in the American League. If not,
no, he does. Steven, you're telling me Stephen Kwan is the difference maker between the Yankees overcoming the Blue Jays and everybody else, and not really Stephen Kwan,
a guy that is consistent in the outfield, consistent on base, and you're going to get a voice. You're going to get a new voice in that locker room that wants to win, is hungry, and actually knows how to win. It's not like he hasn't been on bad teams. He's been on good teams that have had energy, and he's that guy that's always been the starter for it. That swing is perfect. Oh, it was perfect for Yankee Stadium.
I like him. I wouldn't give up on Jason Dominguez.
It's not even giving. I know we talked about this.
Yes.
It's not even giving up on Jason Dominguez. To me, I sit there and go, value man for man, Jason Dominguez or Stephen Kwan. The guy is. It's just nails. The guy's on base. He produces, plays great defense. What more? If Dominguez plays great, he's Stephen Kwan, maybe with a little bit more power.
A lot more power. I think Jason Dominguez could be like a 25 home run guy.
It's Yankee Stadium. Every lefty should be a 25 home run guy. Every guy that walks into that stadium. I mean, Chisholm is going to be a 25 home run guy.
Yes, he is.
I mean, come on.
Home run derby guy, man.
Every lefty should be a 20 to 25 home run guy in that ballpark, unless you're the leadoff hitter, Stephen Kwan, who probably would be a 25 home run guy in that ballpark.
By the way, the Yankees get international bonus pool money too, so that
killing it.
Well, because isn't there like a Japanese slugger that everybody's talking about the Yankees potentially getting? I don't know his name offhand, but there's a guy who's like the home run leader over there in Japan that the Yankees are supposedly going to get. Let's go.
It helps.
Sequel to Matsui.
Every penny helps, and if you're getting rid of somebody that you don't need in a Peraza, every penny helps. It doesn't it might be just a little eye wash at the end of a trade that you never talk about, and then all of a sudden you're like, hey, the Yankees are in a better position than everybody else to get this one player. You're like, that's it.
Harrison Bader, by the way, that was another move that happened here at the deadline. Harrison Bader to the Phillies. As well. It's a good deal. It's a good deal for Philadelphia. Philadelphia has improved themselves pretty significantly here at the deadline, David.
Again, to compete with the Mets and the Dodgers of the world, and even the Brewers of the world, they still need that one more reliever piece. They still need. They are great on hitting, incredible starting pitcher, best rotation in baseball, but they're still 24th in ERA in bullpen. 24th, and that doesn't fix with one player, because you still got to get that guy the ball every single day. And just bringing in a closer, the problem is you can overuse closers really quickly because you don't have that 8th inning guy, that 9th inning guy that keeps that 4-run lead out of 4 runs, and you don't have to bring in the closer. A lot of times where people don't want to talk about it is that 8th inning guy, that 7th inning guy that give up 1 run every now and then that have to bring in the closer for that 3-run, for that save on nights that you would have rest, and those add up over time. That's why having that length in that bullpen really, really helps. So they need one more piece, and I'm right behind him, or Jordan Romano to actually do something. That might help. Another
team that has been quiet here at the deadline has made a small move. The Kansas City Royals go and get lefty Bailey Falter from the Pirates. So Falter to the Royals. Not sure what the haul back is for Pittsburgh in that case, but Falter going from the Pirates to the Royals. And again, Kansas City 3 games out of a wild card spot. I mean, there are a lot more possibilities all the way down to the Angels. You've basically got 8 teams competing for 3 spots in the American League, whereas in the National League right now, I mean, it might be 6 or 7 that are competing for 3 spots. I mean, do you really want to count the Marlins? Another team that's been quiet here at the deadline, with 53 games left in the season, the San Francisco Giants, a team that a lot of people expected things of. You wonder if the Giants have just packed it in and said, hey, we're just not good enough to get by all these other teams in this crowded National League. You wonder if the Giants have just sort of packed it in for this season. And that's kind of surprising given the moves they made in the offseason, the trade for Devers. The Giants, it sounds like, have just decided to give up.
Well, the Giants have had one of the worst offenses in baseball since trading for Devers.
Isn't that amazing?
It's not crazy surprising. This is the warning that everyone wasn't listening to in Boston, that something was wrong here, and it's not the bat.
Second fewest runs, by the way, in the National League, the San Francisco Giants.
Yes, and the bullpen was great. The starting pitcher has been solid, but the batting has just been brutal. Every move they've made just has not quite turned off. I mean, Adames has been good. Chapman has been okay, but they're just missing something. And to me, they're constantly in this in-between spot. Not quite good enough to compete with the teams even in their own division, but not bad. And so they're always in this in between, and they went on that big run and everyone was right in the Giants, back pocket. They're believing in them, and then they go out there and get Devers, and just hasn't turned out. And so, I mean, what do you do with this team? You have so many superstars on this team, and they're just going to sit there and
are they, other than the Orioles this year, are they the biggest underachiever in baseball this year?
Yes.
Outside of the Orioles.
Yes. Absolutely. Especially the moves they've made even during the year. Devers, that might be the biggest trade of the whole year, let alone what we're seeing today. Yeah. That might be bigger than any of those trades. And so they go out there and get the thing that everyone thought they needed. But it just hasn't worked out. To me, it's 100% the Giants. They built this team to win now. And
they could be a bigger
not,
disappointment. They could be a bigger disappointment than the Orioles because a lot of people were sounding the alarm on Baltimore before the season started about this being, kind of the potential for a down year because they did nothing in the offseason. They let Santander walk. That this could be a down year for the Orioles. So maybe from that perspective, it is the Giants that are the bigger disappointment here.
I was one of them. I was the one yelling about the Orioles, and there was red flags.
You were.
But you were still looking at that roster and that team saying they should be still good. It's just how bad they were.
Oh, my God. We got a huge one. Woo! Jeff Passan reporting the Boston Red Sox are acquiring Dustin May from the Dodgers.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Quiet no longer. They waited till the very last second.
That's an interesting one. How many times do you see two teams in it?
Both in it.
At the trade deadline.
I can't wait to find out what the Dodgers. I can't wait to find out what the Dodgers get back.
Yeah, what are the Dodgers doing then? Where's that guy for the Dodgers? Like, where are the Dodgers filling that in?
It's a great question. I don't know.
Because again, we talk about it all the time. That they have so many players, they have so many starting pitchers. I'm sure somebody's coming back from the IL. But where is that for the Dodgers? And where does that put? God, Fangraphs are amazing. They've already moved up. Dustin May is off the Dodgers already.
Didn't take long. I want to know.
They are really good. But that's the question I ask is in a year where the Dodgers rotation is just all hurt. And I know they had him. I mean, they had him in the bullpen? Was he?
I don't know.
It's a good move. I mean, I like it for
the great move for the.
If he can stay healthy and he can stay on the field, I love it.
That one surprises me. I didn't see that coming. If it sounds like I'm a little bit stunned here, it's because I'm stunned here. I did not see of all the things I saw potentially from the Red Sox, Dustin May was not the move I saw coming. In the final 10 minutes, by the way.
Well, they brought in when did they trade for Brock Stewart? That was today. So that might have been that extra guy in that bullpen. Mm-hmm. Too many guys on the roster, so that might have been that one move they must have needed to make something.
I can't wait to see what they get back. I'm interested to know what the Red Sox had to give up to get him.
Where are you at on Dustin May right now? I mean, not having the best of years, 4.8 ERA.
No, the change of scenery. Some guys need the change of scenery, though. You know that as well as anybody.
Padres just got Nestor Cortez.
Oh, Jesus. Is he still in baseball? After the Yankees let him go, and I watched him get blitzed by the Yankees early this season. I didn't hear from him ever again. We didn't even talk about the Tigers getting Kyle Finnegan, too, to help their bullpen, because they've been on the skids here over the last couple of weeks. So they go and make that move.
He was a guy that the Yankees should have had. He's another guy Yankees should have gotten. He would have answered a lot of their problems, and I would rather have Kyle Finnegan maybe have that ball than Bednar. I'd rather trust in Finnegan.
Yankees are, let's be honest, though, the Yankees are kind of recreating a bit of that. We were just talking about the 90s Yankees. Weaver, Bednar. I mean, the Yankees are basically turning their games into look, it's a poor man's 90s Yankees. Don't get me wrong. It's not exactly Mariano, Wetland, Jeff Nelson, and Graham Lloyd. But you're talking about a team that has basically turned it now into a 6-inning game where you could turn it over to Bednar, Luke Weaver, and Devin Williams now here over the final few months of the season and really shorten some of these games, David.
Who takes the ball in the ninth for you?
Devin Williams.
Devin Williams still.
Don't even get
Devin Williams still. I think it is Devin Williams, but now you at least have Bednar who can get the job done.
Weaver can too.
Weaver can. I almost trust Weaver more than any of them.
Oh, Yankees made a deal with the Rays. This is hilarious. They're literally across the dugout from each other. Can he switch teams right now? Oh, my God.
That's a great...
The Yankees get Jose Caballero from the Rays. Jeff Passan on that. Oh yeah, he's
So
saying his
many moves
goodbyes
so
in the
quick.
dug. He was saying his goodbyes in the dugout right now. By the way, Yankees beating the Rays 7-4 in the top of the 7th inning. So the Yankees, wow, they're giving him his hugs in the. God, it's got to be weird. But Caballero, well, he came into New York as a Ray, and he'll leave as a Yankee as they go to Miami to take on the Marlins after this series, and probably be the biggest crowds the Marlins get all year down there.
It's not the biggest move.
Oh,
by
another
any-
move. No, I'm sorry.
I like it.
Sorry, there's more.
Oh, there's more.
By the way, the Yankees for Caballero give up Everson Pereira. It's a pretty good minor league player. He hasn't panned out in the bigs yet. They don't really have a spot for him though, and a player to be named later. The Rays go and get Adrian Hauser from the White Sox. So there you go. Yeah. I like Everson Pereira in Tampa. I like by the way Everson.
Maton.
I like Everson Pereira to Tampa, by the way. I like that move. He's going to get an opportunity to play in that organization. You can find out what he is because the Yankees never bothered to find out what the hell he could be as a major leaguer. Phil Maton to the Rangers, you were just saying, from the Cardinals. Cardinals choosing, obviously, to be sellers here at the deadline. So Hauser to the Rays, Caballero to the Yankees, and I wonder wouldn't it be great if Caballero literally shows up in the Yankee dugout before the end of the game? I mean, how cool would that be? He can't play, but I'm sure he could go in the dugout.
Yeah, he can't play. Oh, yeah, he can go for sure in the dugout.
That'd be awesome.
100%.
How cool.
100%. They can get him uniformed up before this game is over without even a doubt.
That would be amazing.
And I would try to do it.
That would be amazing. When was the last time you saw that?
That'd be great. I don't know. I don't even know if you can do that. I don't know from a major league standpoint, because you're not officially on the roster. You're still on the other roster because you can't be taken off of a roster mid-game and stuff like that. So it might be against some rules, but I wish they could.
I wonder what happened by the way, Jonathan Aranda got hurt in this Yankee game. And I was wondering if the Rays might do something at the deadline because Aranda hurt his wrist in this game. Giancarlo Stanton ran into him at first base. A throw carried him into the first baseline, and when he leaned in, you could see his wrist get bent in a really funky manner. I'm kind of surprised that the Rays didn't try to do anything here at the deadline. If indeed Aranda is going to be out for a while, but we'll have to wait and see. Just a couple minutes remaining here in the trade deadline, but some interesting moves here in the final hour. Usually the final hour is kind of quiet and things settle down a bit, but there's been a lot of activity here in the final hour. Excuse me, the Yankees making a few minor moves. You like the Caballero deal, though, huh?
I don't mind it. I like it. I think this is a player you kind of need a new place. Maybe be a great bench player, get some playing time when all those guys are needing a spot, needing a day, can play multiple positions. So I don't mind that.
Who's the odd person out?
What'd you say?
Who's the odd person out? Well, they traded Peraza.
Peraza is out now. So
yeah, that's right. They traded Peraza and they didn't get any major leaguer back, so that opens the spot up for Caballero. There you go.
Taylor Rogers to the Cubs. Just saw that.
Was it Taylor Rogers? Wait. I thought, who did the Mets get? I thought the Mets got the side armor.
He got.
I thought that was Rogers.
Tyler Rogers.
Tyler Rogers. Okay, making sure I got my Rogers straight.
And of course, his brother got traded the same day. Him and his twin brother, got traded the same day. Of course, they did.
Compare notes. They can compare notes. That's it. We're 2 minutes out from the deadline as of right now. Hold on. The Marlins are expected. Alden Gonzalez reporting that barring something unforeseen, the Marlins are expected to hold on to both Sandy Alcantara and Edward Cabrera. And again, they got them both under player control for 2 more years. It makes some sense.
If I'm Miami, I do that too. I keep them. Unless you had this great deal that was going to come through and blow you away, you keep those guys because you would be selling so low, especially on Alcantara. Like Sandy, you're selling so low, so there's no point in trading him now. You're not going to get.
There'll be another trade deadline a year from now.
Yes, and if he's healthier and he's pitching great, then you will get the world for him because everybody wants him. So why not? Why wait? Why do it now when you can wait and get a lot more and you don't lose anything? He's not even making a ton of money anyways.
Not making any money. I mean, you still got him on his rookie contract basically. So doesn't look like there's going to be any 11th hour move here at the very last second. We're just waiting to see. No Stephen Kwan, no Zach Gallen, no Gore. They're all going to stay put as well. It looks like Jarren Duran, who we wondered if he was going to go at the deadline. It looks like Jarren Duran's going to stay put, which I don't have a problem with.
I'm okay with that. I don't even understand the conversation about it.
I don't
because they're in the middle of it. They're in the heart of it. He is a huge part of that locker room. You don't unless it's a big deal for another big leaguer that's going to change the dynamic of that offense, then you're just going backwards. That one, even the conversation about it never made sense to me.
But if you're Cleveland and you're dealing everybody away, how did you not deal away Stephen Kwan? They must view him as part of their future, or they just didn't get blown away by an offer. It's the only thing I could think of at this point.
I mean, he does have 3 more years of control, right? So that's the only thing.
Again, there'll be another trade deadline a year from now.
Another trade deadline. You have 3 more years of service time. Like, you own him for 3 more years. Why, with a guy like Kwan, why make a move when you don't have to yet? Like, next year is the year to move him. This year is a year if someone blows you away at the deal. And this is, again, that's a Yankee deal. That was a Red Sox deal. I feel like it was waiting to happen, and they didn't.
There is one more move right at the buzzer. The Yankees get Camilo Doval from the Giants.
Ooh.
Now it's a 5-inning game.
Yes.
I mean, really, go and look at what the Yankees have. Look at what the Yankees have done at the deadline. I love this. On the surface, you're just gonna be like, the Yankees kind of nipped and picked and picked. I love what the Yankees have done here. They have gone and bolstered this bullpen, which has been an absolute spit show for the last 2 months. As part of the reason why this team has struggled, it hasn't been the offense. It's been the fact they can't get anybody out. They can't play any defense, and they don't know how many outs there are on the base paths. Now you've got Doval, Bednar, Weaver, and Devin Williams on the back end of your bullpen. Good luck, man. I mean, they're basically gonna 5 innings in a cloud of dust. I mean, that's what the Yankees are gonna do. Wow. I love this. I mean, there was a clear strategy. Say whether it works or not, I don't know. But there was a clear strategy here by Brian Cashman and this team that they were going to try and get a little better defensively, which they did with Ryan McMahon.
Yes.
You get in a,
even though he had an error.
I know, I saw it.
But again, it was an error. It's not like he made it 2 errors, which a lot of these guys have been doing. Error, and all it was a guy get on base.
Tell you another interesting one. The Yankees didn't move Ben Rice at the deadline. That was a guy that some people thought could be gone at the deadline. They did not move Ben Rice. It's interesting. I just don't know where all these at-bats are going.
You're going to have
2 DH. You're going to have 2 DHs for at least a couple of weeks when Judge comes back with him and Stanton, because it doesn't sound like Stanton's ready to play the outfield. Tampa Bay Rays are getting reliever Griffin Jacks.
Oh.
So there's another one. Just past the 3 o'clock hour on the West Coast, 6 p.m. Eastern. And
remember, a lot of these trades have been approved. Yeah. And then it just was Jeff Passan didn't get note of it. Major League Baseball had to approve it. And those guys don't get every story immediately.
What do you think of Doval? What do you think of Doval?
Love it. I love it. An aggressive reliever, somebody who wants the ball, somebody he pitches angry. And that's what the Yankees have been missing for a long time in the back of that bullpen. Some guys that pitch angry. Watching Devin Williams the other night, it looked like he was just trying to get the ball over the plate. It didn't look angry. They need some guys, and right now they've got a couple guys that look like Weaver looks angry, Duvall looks angry, and then Bednar and Williams, I guarantee you, will get even better. I bet Williams, when you move him out of that closers role, it will even get better.
Bunch of 5-inning games. Oh, there's another. Charlie Morton to the Tigers.
Ooh.
Charlie Morton to the Tigers. Add some experience. I mean, look, I'll say this, man. You only need a couple arms if you're the Tigers to start games, because in a 7-game series, you could conceivably get Tariq Skubal in for 3 games. I mean, really?
Does the 7-8 with a 5.4 ERA really do anything for you, though? That's my...
Guy's got championship experience, though. Talking about a World Series winner.
Yeah. Maybe,
I don't have a problem
move
with
into the bullpen, maybe get some more life out of him, something. But I don't know if that didn't make the team better outside of like having a winner in that locker room.
But I think that matters when you have a group of guys. That's a pretty young team. There's not a lot of guys there that, other than Javi. What do they have on that roster that speaks to winning?
It's true, and that's crazy that's the guy.
And right, exactly.
And that is true, 100% true. I just don't know if we look at when we get to the playoffs, Charlie Morton is going to be on that roster anywhere on that playoffs. That's my issue. If you're not making a move for a player that's going to be on the roster for the playoffs or help you make the playoffs, I don't think Charlie Morton at 41 with a 5.4 should be taking a ball every 5 days.
Well, we have hit the trade deadline, and it was a busy final hour. And again, barring something unforeseen, some of the names that did not move, Zach Gallen, Mackenzie Gore, Stephen Kwan, Jaron Duran, they all stayed put. But it feels like everybody else got traded.
Blue Jays, another trade just came through.
Oh, really?
Blue Jays, Luis Varland and Ty France.
Ty France. What happened to Ty France? He was so good in Seattle. And then he just kind of fell off.
He was good for a little bit in Seattle.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, if you look back, I think it would be a little less impressive than it was at the time.
I think I got an autographed card of his when he was in San Diego. I think I got one from him. So that's it. I think we have.
It's got to be it at this point.
Well,
I love the moves the Yankees made. I love the moves. Philly started going in the right direction, needed more guys like the Mets moves. Padres have a whole new team, the whole new back end of that starting lineup and their bullpen. Great moves by them.
Those Yankees, I'm telling you, man, I love what the Yankees did here. The moves to bolster that bullpen. Like I said, they've basically turned every game. And now, if you don't get the Yankees in the first 5 or 6 innings, forget it.
And that's been one of the biggest problems.
I was just watching like mid-90s Yankees games last night, and it reminded me of how fundamentally sound those teams were, how disciplined they were, and then the fact that those games were basically 5 and 6 inning games because the bullpen was on the back end was so strong, and they've definitely recreated some of the bullpen part of that with what they've done here at the deadline. So the biggest winner at the trade deadline, David Aardsma, before we say goodbye.
Biggest winner with those moves at the end, I got to give it to the Yankees.
No, come on, really?
I have to.
Not the Mariners?
I mean, they legitimately have 4 closers.
They really
Name a team that has 4 closers right now.
They really do have 4 closers.
And that was what I love is when teams answer needs, is that they don't just go get the best player. The Mariners and Yankees answered their exact needs, and they answered them with some of the best players on the market. I like the Padres made a ton of moves. I only like the bullpen moves. And then I like what the Mets did. I like what the Phillies did. But there was no other real outside of those 4 teams. I mean, it was all relievers that really made the splash.
Relievers carried the day on trade deadline day. See? You should be pleased.
And starters that will become relievers.
With Charlie Morton? Is that where you're going with that?
Yes.
All right. Well, I appreciate you hanging out. This was fun. People will be able to watch it on our YouTube channel, the SportsWrap with Jason Page YouTube channel. David has Man Cave Sports. Check him out there. Also with MLB Radio on Sirius XM. Thank you, my friend. This was a lot of fun. MLB Trade Deadline Day is officially in the books. I'm trying to kill time to see if anything else breaks in the final 30 seconds. Doesn't look like it is. Yankees are going to take 3 or 4 from the Rays. That puts me in a better mood. Oh, there it is. The Twins are getting Taj Bradley in the Griffin Jack deal. So there you go. All right. I got to go.
A new start.
Thank you, my friend. Always appreciate it.
No, thank you. This is wonderful.
All right. And that is Sports Wrap Live, MLB Trade Deadline Edition. We'll see you on the show. All right. You can talk. I stopped.